good afternoon, and welcome to a review of Rent a Girlfriend. Now, okay, let's cut to the chase. For 2 weeks, this episode, these last few moments of Rent a Girlfriend has been on a downward spiral and the rise of Buffett. You gotta remember, Chizuru lost her grandmother. She lost someone really, really important to her in her life. Then last week we had a Sumi episode. And Sumi, best development girl, by the way, in the Rent a Girlfriend franchise, which is one of my top 5 waifus of all time, able to get Kazuya his confidence back. Able to find ways to cheer Kazuya to get him into dating Chizuru once again. So remember, you gotta understand, Kazuya is also going through a lot. Like, what can he do to cheer Chizuru up? I mean, Chizuru lost her grandmother, got confidence from Sumi. What else does he have to do? So, after everything he has done, he spent all this into this one episode. This one entire episode will show you just how Kazuya has developed. And I said Kazuya developed in one sentence. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying Kazuya has developed in ways more than one. I'm only talking about Kazuya as a character. Sure, Kazuya may have some F moments, and sometimes he does things that you don't like, but Kazuya is Kazuya. You can't change him dramatically. You can't change him over one episode. It takes time. And like in the words of all the fans, it's like, just be patient. Just be patient. You got to be patient with Kazuya. Yeah, like I said, Kazuya does some things that you don't like, but that's who he is as a character. But in this episode, they brought back, this is so emotional. Like, it got so many emotions in this, but that's what this show's all about. So without further ado, let's get right to it, the review of Rent a Girlfriend Season 3. Now, this is episode 11, by the way. I forgot to say episode 11, because we're one more episode left. Things going to be crazy next arc. Okay, so this episode, after everything that happened in the last 2 weeks of Rent a Girlfriend, Kazuya has worked really hard to now spend the entire day with Chizuru. It's a Rent a Girlfriend, but it's more like a cheer update. This is more cheer up, Chizuru. We're here for you. Okay? It's like that. Chizuru, putting on that Rent a Girlfriend act. It's still there, guys. But understand, it's like mentally she's not, it's like she's still in that Rent a Girlfriend phase, but she's still holding it in over the loss of her grandma. That's the Rent a Girlfriend Chizuru vibe. Putting all emotions locked up inside and just put on that Rent a Girlfriend look. And that's what this was. Kazuya is still Kazuya. All the cringy moments, all the franticking, trying to cheer her up. Yeah, I get it. Looking at this is like season 1 vibe all over again. Because if you go back to season 1 vibe, you got Chizuru being the Rent a Girlfriend look, while Kazuya is still being Kazuya. It's just reminiscing back season 1 all over again. Now, I do like the funniness in some points, like when Chizuru put on that cat paw and her cat eyes. There were some good ones. So the first thing it was like, okay, let's go shopping for clothes, and Chizuru looks good in any outfit, especially that outfit she wore. That was really nice. I mean, she wore that in the entire date. I mean, Kazuya has spent everything. Like, he not only spent on clothes for her, they went to the movies together, and they were holding hands like this, holding hands like an ideal date. They were holding hands at the movies, went to a fancy restaurant. He spent a lot. Not only that, he wanted to, even Chizuru will know that you're just doing this for the help to cheer me up, but it's all right. And Kazuya was really happy to hear that her grandmother was able to see little glimpse of the movie before she passed away. So it was nice that it was nice that Kazuya put a lot of effort, not in the movie, but also putting up a projector for her grandmother to see this in her final moments. Stepped up. Now, the rock climbing thing. If we go back to the whole, remember the rock climbing back in the season one where his friend called in Ruka and Chizuru and Kazuya were doing rock climbing. We got some fan service. This is back again with Chizuru's assets in her in her rock climbing uniform, where they're showing her ass at times, and I forgot, there was times when she had that skirt on, but again, she just put on that girlfriend act. And Kazuya is still Kazuya, like cringing, trying to see if I could touch. He's all like, should I touch her back? Oh, her boobs in my back. Oh, her back is so smooth. She's so light. She's thin. He's still doing all these crazy antics. But that's who he is as a character. That's who he is as a character. He ain't gonna change dramatically. He ain't gonna change he gonna stop doing this. But let's be honest. If Kazuya was to stop doing all these cringy, antic moments, we have to acknowledge that he's gonna have the best development character of all time. If he pulls off if he stops cringing, if he stops franticing, if he stops being Kazuya for Kazuya, if he stops doing all of those things that you don't like, he's gonna step up. He'll be the best development of all time. He'll be like an S tier guy. But back to what I was saying. But again, is that now on their date when they planned a restaurant? I forgot to bring this up. Chizuru saw a child with a grandma. And again, it's just, she still can't let that go. You talk about Chizuru everybody talked about Chizuru being basic. Let's stop that. She is not basic. This entire season of Rent-A-Girlfriend, there have been 2 development characters in the series. Let me break this down a bit. You got mommy bitch ass who ain't there anymore. That's one. And we haven't seen her since. I mean, looking from what we read, and what we're seeing from this, I ain't gonna say it, but you will. Then you got Ruka, who has no development at all. No development in this season. She's still the same Ruka. Sumi, she developed dramatically ever since season 1. And as a huge Sumi fan, like you guys, Sumi has developed more ways than one. I mean, literally developed in ways. Then you got Chizuru. Now you gotta understand, people say, oh, she's basic, she doesn't have a trait. She doesn't have you have to understand, Chizuru is she's kind, she's funny, she like to put on a smiley face. She's very helpful. She's there when you need her. Like if Kazuya is down, she's there. That's what she is. And remember, she doing this to become an actress. She doing this a lot of money to become an actress, and then being an actress costs a lot of money. But you have to, and then you dive down to the development of her reasons why she become an actress, why she wants to. Her grandmother was an actress. Her grandpa approved it. Achieve your dreams, and that's the thing. It's the character development. It's what makes them who they are, and Chizuru is there with that. So again, with Chizuru losing her grandma, and now seeing like her grandma and a child walking, it's just all the emotions is still locked in. And you're looking at her, and she's like, yeah, she put on that Rent-A-Girlfriend look, but she's still sad inside. So, they eating, had a great time talking. Then they got to the end, where they got to the fireworks, putting on the fireworks. And you see Chizuru playing with her little fireworks, and it's just reminiscing at the time when her grandma match up her fireworks, and like they both light up, It's just her grandparents that she missed so much. And when Kazuya went back to get water, a bucket of water. When he came back with a bucket of water, he see Chizuru crying. Now, and that's how it ends. Now, here's the thing. This season, as a whole, is very emotional. Yeah, it had a few happy moments and some sad moments. Fan service or non-fan service. There has been development between Sumi and Chizuru in this. And especially Kazuya. And I don't mean like Kazuya's development in like in a huge way, like, oh my god, he developed. No, 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 no. I'm talking about Kazuya as a character. He's getting there. Slightly, yeah. Getting there, yeah. It ain't gonna be like over the top development, but it's getting there in his way. And so when this happens, when he sees Chizuru crying, it tells you this. He's gonna next week's the last episode. So I guarantee you guys, for those who read it, and I'm telling you now, don't please don't. You're gonna see a change in Kazuya's words when he talks to Chizuru on this one. Trust me, you're gonna love it. But again, this episode was very I will say overall emotional. There were so many emotions on this episode. There were happy, sad, cringy moments, but that's what makes Rent a Girlfriend what it is. And for Chizuru and Sumi developing in this entire season, leading towards the next week's finale, it's safe to say that we're gonna get a season 4. I won't even be surprised if we get a season 4, but that's what it's gonna be. But like I said, this episode overall was just reminiscing season 1 vibe of Rent a Girlfriend, with Chizuru being the rental girlfriend and Kazuya's Kazuya. The only difference is that this is a chair update. That's one. And Chizuru is still being in that rent to girlfriend mode that she lost her grandmother, and that she's putting all those emotions locked inside. It's kind of like, for example, Asuma's death, which I don't care about Asuma's death, but that's a different topic in another way. You know, when Asuma died and you got Shikamaru bent up and all that emotions, and then he hit the board and his father's like, let it out. In other words, let it out. Let all your emotions. And then Shikamaru started crying. That's what they're going to do for Chizuru. That's what Chizuru's going to be like next week. And trust me, guys, you guys are going to feel it. You got to feel it. So I look forward for the next week's finale of Rent a Girlfriend. And trust me, guys, you're going to love it. So stay tuned for next week.